Hey guys, it is that time. Money in the bank. And I think at this point we have our field official for both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank match. So let's go ahead and talk about those matches and the participants who we think is going to end up coming out with a victory there. We're going to start with the men's. So we have Ricochet, who I think is going to have some good points in this match. I feel like he will. I don't think he has necessarily a super good chance of winning. He's a great competitor. He's very talented. But I think the issue is going to come between him and Shinsuke Nakamura, who we'll talk about too in with this. I think between the two of them, they're going to some extent cost each other that match. So while Shinsuke is also a very talented superstar, and it's great to see him back, and they're really pushing him as he's come back, I don't think either of them winning is necessarily the story that they're wanting to lean into. Right? I think what they'll lean into is more something with them after Money in the Bank against each other, right? Which is hard to do if you have one of them kind of in the hunt for a world title. So unfortunately, I don't necessarily see Ricochet or Shinsuke coming out with a victory here. Then we have LA Knight. He's been pushed a lot lately, and he has really been connecting with the crowd. They're really liking that LA Knight, yeah, thing he's got going on there. So since they've moved back to that as opposed to him being with Maximum Male Models, it's gone better for him. And he is picking up his victories. I don't know if I see him winning. I don't necessarily see a path after Money in the Bank, right? Because it doesn't make sense for him to go after Roman Reigns, who is one of the title holders. And I don't necessarily see him going after either Seth Rollins or Finn Balor, whoever ends up winning that. It doesn't necessarily really make sense. Neither does it necessarily make sense to have him go after Austin Theory or Gunther, who we have to admit that is a possibility, and it does need to be addressed that it is a possibility, right, to go after one of those. We then have Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar. I like to think that he is a possibility in that he doesn't necessarily have anything lined up to really, like, go after this. But I don't necessarily see him coming out with a victory. I know some are thinking that storyline is going to be Santos Escobar and Zelina winning and major push for the LWO. I don't necessarily see that happening. I think he will have some amazing spots in the match, and he will definitely make his presence felt during it. But I don't know if I see him winning. The same with Butch. I think Butch is going to have some great spots there. Again, very talented. Same with Santos. And they're going to make themselves be noticed. But I don't see them coming out with a victory. So that leaves us with the last two. Damian Priest and Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul entering this is an interesting concept for this. And he does lean that dark horse thing into this match and the improbability of it, what's going to happen. But I don't think they necessarily brought him back to necessarily win this. However, having said that, if they do, then I think the story becomes Seth Rollins pick up the victory over Finn, and then Seth and Logan continuing that feud that they've had. If they give this to Logan Paul, then I think they need to keep that title on Seth to continue that. That, I think, is the only way that it makes sense to have Logan Paul win. I don't think it makes sense for him to go after Roman, even though he has faced Roman before. It wasn't necessarily personal, whereas it has become somewhat more personal with Seth. I don't necessarily see that happening, though, because honestly, guys, I see Finn winning this. I think he gets his redemption here. I don't think Seth has a long title reign with this. I don't think it's his last title reign, though, either, having said that. So my prediction for the winner of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is the last we're going to talk about, and that is Damian Priest. I think this is his year. He has not won it yet. So I think this is his time. And I think this is what makes this more interesting. Because I think Finn wins that World Heavyweight Championship from Seth. But I don't think Damian's going to go after Roman. Although that would be a good match. I would not hate to see Roman versus Damian. Would not. But I think it would be better storytelling and more interesting if Damian chooses to go after Finn. I think so. And I think that's where they're going with this potentially. Again, it doesn't have to be right away. They could have Damian sit on it for a while. And they can have everybody thinking that, of course, Damian's going to go after the other title, right? And bring them both into the Judgment Day, right? Something's going to happen and he's going to turn. That's where I think they're going with this. I think it's Damian's year. Okay. Let's move on to Money in the Bank, the women's match. Okay. So we have the three I'm going to talk about first is going to be Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, and Trish Stratus. I love Becky, do not get me wrong. And I think she's going to make herself known in this match. But I don't think it's her year. I don't think the story is about her right now. Back when she won the Royal Rumble, that was her year. That was when the story was Becky Lynch, right? That's not the case this year. I don't feel like it is. And I don't see anything for her with Rhea Ripley, who is the women's champion on Raw. And I don't see them doing an angle with Becky and Charlotte. They've done that before. And not that it wouldn't make for good TV, but I think the two of them need to just not work together right now. There's a lot of personal things going on. But the other reason is because I think between Becky, Zoe, and Trish, they're going to get in each other's way. And I don't see any of the three of them picking up this victory. Will they have good spots together while they're keeping each other from climbing the ladder and getting that briefcase? Yes, I think they will. But I don't think they come out victorious. So then let's talk about Zelina Vega. I think she's going to make herself known. She has proven that she is getting better in the ring and that she's getting closer to being able to hang with some of these people. And that she is deserving of this spot in this match. But like with Escobar, I don't think the story is her this year. Maybe next year, maybe. But I don't think her story is this year. I just don't. So let's talk about the last two people in this match. Bayley and Io Sky. Okay, so let's remember that Bayley has already won this match, right? She has already successfully cashed in. She successfully cashed in on Charlotte. Are there storylines she could go into with this? Sure. She could continue a feud against Bayley. or against Charlotte, I'm sorry. She can continue a feud against Bianca if Bianca ends up winning after Charlotte has her match against Asuka. Because, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself there, right? So I see Charlotte winning this match and getting the Women's Championship. I do. I see that happening. So that's why I keep referring to feuds against Charlotte, because I see that being the outcome. It's kind of what they've focused on. On SmackDown, you haven't necessarily really seen that interaction between Asuka and Bianca. It's been Bianca and Charlotte. So that's the direction I think they're heading. Now, Io has not won this match. She has not held a solo title on SmackDown or Raw. She has held the tag team titles, and she did hold that women's championship in NXT. A very great job at it. I think that story this year is things between Bayley and Io. More so than Dakota and Bayley. And Dakota and Io. Because I think Io is the one that has definitely seen that Bayley is more using them to kind of get more opportunities for herself, as opposed to actually trying to do things to help them progress and gaining them opportunities, which is what I think she originally had kind of made them believe, was that you stick with me, I'm a veteran, I can get you these opportunities, I can get your name in there. And I think Io is discovering that that's not happening. So, my prediction, Io comes out the victor in this. Now, having said that, there isn't necessarily a feud, and there hasn't necessarily been anything like that between Io and Rhea. When you look at the SmackDown side, you have Asuka, who's the current champion. And I would not hate a match between Asuka and Io. I would not hate a match between Io and Charlotte. Now that would be good too. So I think the story this year is Io Sky. And I see it coming down to her and Bayley. And I see this fracturing Damage Control. Whether or not it means for definite, not sure. And whether it means right away or not, it's hard to say. But I see this being that nail in the coffin for Damage Control, so to speak. I think it's what's going to end up breaking things up for them. Alright. So having said that, just going to go back through. I have Damian Priest winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And I have Io Sky winning the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alright, so that comes at us on Saturday. I will be watching it back because I do have to work that day. But I will be watching it back afterwards. And Sunday I will have a video for you with my prediction, or not predictions, but my thoughts on it. I will probably also do that in the same one where I go over kind of my thoughts on Raw and SmackDown for this week. So, we will see you guys this weekend. If you have any thoughts, please, let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Do you disagree? Who do you have winning these matches? I want to hear your thought processes on these. So don't forget to hit that like. And don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications. And leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. We'll see you guys later this weekend. Alright. Bye.